Sometimes there really are coincidences like this. But to think one would be me running into my older sister in the middle of the city like this?
Even I was thinking that I'd never have to see you again, Jade. As large as New York City is, I guess we both just happen to be right here at the same time.
But after seeing how healthy you're looking, Ariana, I can finally relax a little. You must have made it past being that dirty homeless woman you once were. I was honestly thinking you'd be living in the dirt and filth of New York City for the rest of your life. I was shocked to see you living the life of us normal folk.
Huh?
I still think about what happened 5 years ago. Especially that face you made when you found out your husband at the time, Trey, had thrown you away. Being kicked right out of the house you both had built and moved into. You were crying so hard that there were tears spilling out of literally every hole on your face.
Well, I'm sure anyone would be crying like that during those times. Having your own husband stolen from you by your little sister? I'm sure any sane person would have been shocked.
But the most entertaining part came right after that. While watching TV, there was this show about the homeless in New York. And when you had a really good look at the line of hobos at the soup kitchen, there you were. Your clothing was all in tatters and you looked dead, lined up with all those druggies and forgotten veterans. When we saw you lined up like that, both Trey and myself burst out laughing.
And I'm going to assume that neither of you would be able to imagine how difficult it was for me to get back to my original life from there.
Sorry about that, but I've never had to be a hobo myself, so I would never be able to imagine such a thing. To be honest, I didn't even think someone could live their life normally after losing their house.
Don't ever talk to me again. Just from these texts we've been sending back and forth alone, my heart is starting to race again and my forehead is beginning to sweat.
What? We were finally able to meet back up after 5 years of being apart, and that's how you're going to treat me? I'm your only little sister after all, so you should be more open to me again. Oh, that's right. If you don't mind and can make it, I'd like to invite you to our next home party. Just recently, we had another house built, so we need to have a party there as well now to christen it.
You had another house built?
Was the house you stole from me not good enough? You kicked me out of there 5 years ago, saying you'd be making that your guys' love nest and everything. So why do you both need to build a new house? We've done this because we both realized the last house wasn't good enough for us. It was in a nice location and all, but having to live in the same house as Trey's ex-wife was a little tough on the heart. So Trey went ahead and had this new house built for the two of us. You're kidding me. Then what's going to happen to the last house? We had it demolished and sold the land back to the realty company. We made sure that the house that had all your memories with Trey could never be seen again.
What the hell, Jade?
If you both were just going to end up tearing it down anyway, why did you both have to take it from me in the first place? Oh, now that you say it that way, I suppose you're right. Sorry about that. I guess the both of us just made you homeless for no reason at all now. But of course, that was a great experience for you, so I'm sure you'll forgive us for that one. Anyway, the next time I text you will be about the home party, all right?
I heard about you from Jade. You able to crawl back out of that life as a homeless person, huh? Congratulations.
Thank you so much for taking the time to text me now. But I'm sure you have more to say to me than just congratulations, right?
Huh? There's something else I just say?
I heard about this from Jade. That house you both stole from me, you had demolished and then sold the land, right?
You want to talk about that? We were to make some decent money off that place. Did you have anything you wanted to say about it? I was the owner of that house, so there should be no problem with me having it torn down and sold.
I understand that you were the owner, but I had one request from you, right? If you guys were ever going to leave that house, to tell me about it then. I told you that if you were going to sell it, I would buy it, so don't sell it to anyone else. I asked you that so many times after you threw me away, right?
Oh, wait, what? You said all that to me?
Shut the frick up, you bastard! You knew all along what I asked from you.
You knew just how many times I told you that I wanted to keep that house if you both were going to let go of it. That house held so many memories of myself and Mickey in it. When I was single, I had always been living with Mickey. And after having lived with one another for so long, we moved into that new house with you. You knew just how many final memories I had with Mickey in that house and how important it all was to me.
Ah, now I'm starting to remember. I suppose you did say some of those things to me before you left. You wanted the house back because of your memories of that cat?
I was already sad because of the fact you both stabbed me in the back, but what really shocked me was getting kicked out of that house. That's why the whole time I was homeless, I worked my butt off to make it back to a life where I could make money again. I was planning to buy that house back from you two. Yet you both went and frickin' tore that house down and sold the frickin' land.
Hey, don't get so upset over it. The house is gone now. There's no going back to it.
What the hell is wrong with you? I am never gonna forgive you for that, you jerk.
I don't need your forgiveness. How you think of me literally has nothing to do with my life now. And the fact that you're turning into a witch over some memories you had with some silly cat. How can you be so attached to the memories of that cat?
Excuse me?
Why don't you just get yourself a new cat? There's no way a woman that just crawled back from being a hobo could afford to have a cat. So sorry for suggesting something a lowlife would never be able to do.
This coming weekend, I'd like you to come to our house. All right, Ariana? We'll be having that party I was talking about with you a few weeks ago. We plan to have tons of really good food there for everyone to eat, so make sure that you fill up. I'm sure it will all be better than that food from that soup kitchen. I'm sorry, but I'm sure there are plenty of other people you can invite to that party. I have no interest in seeing your guys' newly built house. What was that? Could this mean that you are still upset about the fact that we tore that old house down? I heard about how you felt from Trey about that, but you need to stop crying like a baby and grow up. No matter how mad you get, there's no way you can go back in time and fix things. Huh? And really, I would like you to hurry up and come see our beautiful and high-class home we have now. I want to see the face you make when you see how luxurious this house is. I'm just shaking in my chair right now just thinking of how you'd react. If it's that luxurious that I'll be shocked that much, what house did you guys end up having built? Oh, you're wondering about that? Well, this house happened to cost us both $2 million. $2 million? You both ended up spending that kind of money on it? What do you think? That's pretty amazing, right? Not only is it crazy that we both have a house built here in New York City, but we ended up spending $2 million on it. The fact that I get to live in such a gorgeous house as this now makes me a winner. Where did the two of you end up getting that kind of money from? Even with the money from the land you sold before, there's no way you made even $1 million off that land. But here's the thing. We did make that kind of money for this new house. My husband, who I love so much, has really been moving up in his company, and that's where all this money came from as well. That all then allowed us to get this huge loan on the house and everything with no questions whatsoever. What? You're telling me Trey has been getting promoted? Trey? The guy that never once got a promotion while I was with him, and if anything got moved down in salary. For some reason, ever since we got married to one another, Trey's been fighting like a boss. He told me he wanted to show me how amazing he is, and so he started to focus all his energy into work. And because of all that energy, he was able to get promoted. And now he's working high up in that company. You're lying, right? Not at all. And not only was he able to move really high up in this company, but other companies have been calling to him as well. Companies that have been really wanting to hire him into their ranks. After being promoted so much, the fact that he's now even being asked to join other companies is amazing. When a proper woman becomes a man's wife, they will usually start to show their true strength. In other words, all that's happened is because of me. He's already chosen to join a new company now that is going to pay him even more, and he won't even have to work as much. That's why the both of us decided that it was worth it to pay $2 million for this home. Living in a really nice house like this should only make him want to work harder and make us even more money. I see now. So that's how you ended up with a place like that. And starting next year, he will be making another $100,000 on top of what he's already making, so we'll be frickin' rich. Oh, and of course, that's only going to be his base pay. There will also be things like bonuses and extra money coming in due to his success. We really will be making an insane amount of money with all of that. That really is amazing of him. The fact that a man like Trey could ever get into a position like that. Are you aware of the company Fly High USA? They happen to be at the top of the stock market right now. That's the company that's called for my husband to go work there. What did you say? Did you really know about that company then? Well, I suppose it isn't too strange for even someone of your class to know about them. They are ranked in the top 100 companies in the world and are moving their way up to being in the top 50. Did Trey really get asked by a company like that to go and work for them? Has he already confirmed that he'll be going to that company now? Yes, he has. He had to take one basic exam to enter the company with that interview, but he finished that like a piece of cake, he said. And since it was the company asking to hire him in the first place, that means there's no way he wouldn't be getting the job there. No way. And I'm sure part of all this has to do with having me as his wife. Seeing him gaining all this energy after marrying me has really got me jumping with joy. Back when I had first seen him with you, I knew he was the one for me. My heart was racing, and I thought to myself, as long as I had him, then my life would be perfect. I wouldn't have to do a thing, and I would become a celebrity. I'm just glad I was just listening to my intuition there. I made the right choice stealing a man like Trey from you, Ariana. What? So you're telling me that you stole him from me because of that reason? What do you mean, because of this reason? Intuition is a very important thing. Because I listened to it, I was able to get myself this man and a new house for myself. Who would have thought, though, that my sister was married to a man that could make it this far up in the world? I'm sure you are so jealous of me right now, considering my Trey is going to be making another $100,000 here soon, on top of what he was already making. That company happens to be my husband's, though. What? I never thought something like this could be happening. I need to go and check with him about all of this right now. Sorry, but I have to go. Wait a second, please. What do you mean that's your husband's company? And wait, what's this about a husband? Ariana, did you get married again? Yes, I did get married again. I can see that you probably can't believe what you're hearing right now, but while I was homeless, I ran into this wonderful man. He was one of the volunteers at that soup kitchen I'd always go to, and he and I both became really close to one another. What? You found the man you would later marry while you were homeless? He was such a soft and kind gentleman, and he really did his best to help cheer me on as I worked my way back into society. Then, once I had found myself a new job and got a place to live, he confessed that he loved me. Of course, I said okay to us starting to date, but after that, there were so many surprises for me. I never thought that the man working at the soup kitchen all the time as a volunteer was also the CEO of a company as large as Fly High USA. Huh? When I learned just how large that company is, I really started to wonder how I was so fortunate to run into a man like him. You're lying about all of that, right? It was already hard enough for me to believe that you got married again. But the man you ended up with happens to run a company like that?
And to make everything all the more crazy, that's the company that Trey will be going to?
I'm just as shocked as you are right now. That's why I need to go have a word with my husband this instant. Now that I have to run, this is goodbye, Jade.
Hey, Ariana. I already heard some things from Jade, but you really got married again? And the man you got married to happens to be the CEO of Fly High USA? So now you're the CEO's wife?
I wouldn't say that any of his responsibilities have fallen on me as his wife just yet, but yes, he is the CEO and I am now his wife. And to think a company like my husband's actually reached out to try and hire you.
No way. This is all a joke, right? So were you the one that went and talked to your husband and had his company turn me away from being hired now? Knocking me down like that all because of some personal issues you have? Don't you dare start screwing around with me. I was just called by the company and they told me they won't be hiring me anymore. They told me that I failed the interview and all that and can't be hired. No matter how you try and think about it, there's no way I failed. I was given that exam and interview because the company wanted someone like me. They asked me to come and join them. Are you all trying to play games with me right now by asking me to join the company and then telling me no?
Ah, I see now. So this is about what happened there.
This is definitely all because of you. You asked your husband to fail me like that and turn me away. You've really gone and done it now to me.
Hold on now, Trey. I think you're mistaken here. I'm sorry that everything lined up like this in terms of timing, making you want to blame me. But you failing that interview was not my doing. By the time I was talking with my husband about you, you had already taken your exam and interview and were chosen to be turned away because of those results.
What did you just say?
I understand that it's very upsetting to be asked to join a company only to be turned away by them after your interview with them. But that just means the company misunderstood your abilities and can't hire you based off of how you did when you came and actually spoke with the interviewer. From what my husband said, the way you behaved during that interview was awful.
Huh? The way I behaved at the interview was awful?
You seem to have thought the interview was only being done as part of the company's process and wasn't really real. But to both my husband and the HR department, that interview was very much real and being taken seriously. I get that you thought you would already be getting the job due to the company asking you to join them. But when it came to the way you communicated during that interview and you view in terms of value, you were not the person that they wanted. They wanted that interview done in order to get one last good look at you before hiring you. But you didn't take it seriously at all, and that really showed them the true Trey.
What?
Trey, you were already very late to that interview, correct? And when you arrived, you didn't even bother to apologize for being late, only replying by saying that you would already had the job, so what was the big deal? Then you never even answered any of their questions regarding the work you were doing at your previous company, all before you walked out of there saying, "See y'all later." The company's introduced many people into their ranks by asking them to join because of their skills, but they have never had someone as ignorant and rude as you end up being a part of the people they were originally wanting. This led to everyone in HR, along with my husband and his committee, to all saying no to hiring you.
You're kidding! So you're telling me it's because of my behavior that I was turned away?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. So please stop blaming me for something you did.
No. There's no way that's happening. No matter how bad my behavior was then, they were the ones that wanted to hire me. So how could they turn me down like that at the last minute?
They could do it because this is business. If they ended up hiring someone like you, then they would have to pay you close to $300,000 a year to act like a complete jerk around the office. They can't take risks like that for someone as replaceable as you.
No way.
My husband was laughing a whole lot about this. He never thought that the man who blatantly failed his interview was the same man that made me homeless. He always thought that a man who could do that to me was troubled mentally and was sure glad that your mental issues came out during that interview.
Shut the frick up. Then what the hell am I going to do now? I never thought that I'd be turned away from that company like this. I already told my previous company I'm quitting because of the new job.
You did? You haven't even confirmed yet whether or not you were getting the job at this company, yet you already went and quit your last job? Normally, you shouldn't make a move until you know you've gotten that new job, right?
But I seriously didn't think there was a chance of me not getting the job. What am I going to do? I already went to my old boss and manager and bragged to them about the new job I'm getting. If I go back to them and say I'm not quitting after all because I got turned away, I can't be in such an embarrassing situation like that.
Well, then you'd better hurry up and find a completely new company that will hire you. I was told that plenty of other companies were also wanting to hire you, right? Hurry up and start telling them that you'll take the job and go to their interviews. Ariana, please, can you please lend me some money? I just need $30,000 from you is all. What? Right now we won't be able to pay the loan on our house. At the end of this month, we have to make another payment, yet we have nothing in our bank accounts. You're joking, right? You guys didn't even have any savings? Well, when we moved into this house, we went out and bought all of our furniture and electronics to fill the house with. We also went out and bought a brand new Ferrari. I didn't think that all of that spending would come and bite us in the butts this month. After having to pay for all of those other things, we have no money for the loan. I see. And that's your reason for wanting money from me now? Don't you think, for starters, you can pay us enough for the next couple of months to pay off some of the loan? We never thought that Trey would end up being turned away from that job at Fly High USA. He is trying so hard right now to find a new job, but he won't ever be paid in time for this next payment. That does seem pretty tough for the both of you. But I'm not handing you any money. If you are all out of money, then go find yourselves a loan shark or someone to borrow from. And right now, no one is willing to give us money. Not even the loan sharks around here. The fact that we have this massive loan to pay off, as well as the fact that neither of us are working, they all tell us that they will never get any money back from us, so there's no agreement that can be made. Everyone keeps turning us away, banks and loan sharks alike. Oh dear. So please help us. And if you'd really like me to bring this up, he was once your husband and he's at fault for all of this. I think you have to be just as responsible for this happening as he is. Oh, hold on. That's your husband now, and so far, what's happening is exactly what the man deserves. He went into my husband's company with a toxic attitude and tried to act as though he already had the job. These days, loans on houses are really tough. And since this house is so expensive, things have been made worse. We could try and tell the bank to give us a little more time, but then the interest would skyrocket on us. Oh, is that right? So please, I am seriously asking for just a little money from you. You're the wife of a CEO, after all, so you should have tons of money you can use, right? Of course we'll pay you back that money you lend us someday. I'm really sorry, Jade. Just like the two of you, I don't have any money in my savings. Huh? Not even a penny? Even though you're married to a CEO? You guys went and sold the land from the previous house, right? Well, I just recently went and bought that land back from the realtor. And in order to do that, I had to use up all my money that I had saved. Huh? I no longer have the house that contained all my best memories, but at least the land is still around for me to keep. So I'm thinking I'll have a new building built here, and I'll turn it into a cat cafe in memory of my Mickey. That's always been a dream of mine ever since I was a little girl. Are you being serious right now? You really went and spent all your money on that? Actually, as of right now, I'm in a little bit of debt myself. I had to borrow some money from my husband to make things work, and we'll have to pay him back later. So let's the both of us do our best to make some money. I want to save all kinds of cats off the street and make them my employees, and then make the money to pay my husband back.
You're making it seem like you care more about those cats than your own sister.
Well, of course I am. They are all cats, after all. All so cute and fluffy. Way more cute than you are, especially.
What?
I understand that a lot of people think that cats can be mean and all, but when you treat them nice, they'll respect you as family. Unlike the two of you, who are neither cute nor have the ability to treat anyone nicely, no matter who they are or what they do.
Excuse me?
Before you start to cry and beg for my help, why don't you help your husband out by finding yourself a job as well? You're not making any money yourself, and if you can't pay off that loan soon, you'll both be evicted from there by the bank. If that happens, then you both will become the newest additions to New York's homeless.
Come on now, Ariana. I will not let myself become homeless.
I'll send you a list later on of all my most recommended soup kitchens around the city. Good luck to the both of you now.